We're in a trembling moment, quite literally in the early hours of June the 3rd this morning. A magnitude 5.8 earthquake struck western Turkey, with its shock waves rippling into the Greek islands of the Aegean, and this follows close on the heels of the powerful 6.2 earthquake felt in Istanbul just over a month ago. I was there. And an eruption of Mount Etna now in Sicily, a trinity of tectonic and volcanic fury, and nature, it seems, is loudly clearing its throat. The epicenter to this morning's earthquake lay just outside Marmaris, the Turkish coastal resort popular with European tourists, and was felt strongly in Rhodes, a mere 29 kilometers south. Hotels shook, guests fled barefoot into the night. In Fethiye, panic killed a 14-year-old girl. 69 others were injured, not by falling masonry, but by fear, by the instinct to flee rather than to shelter. And that is perhaps the most haunting detail. It wasn't the earthquake itself that proved lethal, but our inadequacy in coping with it. And Turkey sits along two major fault lines, a geography that has cursed it with frequent and devastating earthquakes. One need only recall the horror of February 2023, when over 53,000 people died in a 7.8 magnitude quake that also devastated northern Syria. This week's event was mercifully less severe, but geologically significant. According to Professor Cenk Yalçırak of Istanbul Technical University, the recent 6.2 Istanbul quake released only 12% of the accumulated seismic stress on the central Marmara Ridge. A dangerous amount remains bottled up beneath the sea. Yalçırak likens the region to a bucket divided into 4 compartments. One has now tripped. If all rupture sequentially, as they did in the 1999 Izmik Durce double quake, the resulting catastrophe could reach magnitude 7.8. The city of Istanbul, still reeling from the tremor in April, remains at risk. Much of its coastal housing sits on poor soil. Some reclaimed land now doubles as disaster waiting rooms. Greece, too, sits on the cusp of shifting tectonic plates. The Aegean Sea is a cauldron of undersea activity. Only a fortnight ago, Crete was rattled by a 6.1 quake. Santorini has registered up to 7 microquakes per hour. Tourists fleeing down stairwells on roads this week could be forgiven for thinking they'd stumbled into a Mediterranean horror film. Yet this is not fiction, it's nature asserting itself. And then there's Etna, Europe's most active volcano. On Monday it roared back into life, a vast pyroclastic column surging into the sky. Tourists fled, others, foolish or fearless, ran towards the lava for a better photo. The eruption marked the most intense activity since 2021. Thankfully, the airport remained open. No injuries were reported, but here again is a parable. Volcanoes do not kill. Our ignorance and thrill-seeking sometimes does. What kills in earthquakes? Poor building standards, panic, misinformation. Too many Turkish residents live in buildings that are not fit for purpose. They don't know where to stand, how to act, or even when to move. Fleeing down unstable stairs in the dark is more dangerous than crouching in a reinforced corner. Drills are often performative rather than practical, and urban renewal is obstructed by neighbourly bickering over cost. This confluence of disaster, seismic and volcanic, must not be shrugged off as coincidence. It's not divine punishment or a freak year, but the result of tectonic inevitability and human lack of preparation. We cannot predict the next quake, but we can prepare, and we must build for the worst, educate for the most likely, and legislate for the necessary. And when it comes to earthquakes, comfort is the enemy of safety. Nature will not flatter our denial. The earth will shake again. The only question is whether we will be standing when it does.